Alright, so this is our power lead that's going to be going into the mixer. As you can see, it's one of the 13 amp power leads we saw earlier. That goes into the back socket here, like so. So now this should be able to turn on. There we go, you can see the lights turning on. Right, and the next thing we're going to do is get some power to the Korg M3. Just done exactly the same way, and now that's turning on. Right, so then what we need to do is we need to connect up the MIDI interface to the PC. Now before we do this, we need to make sure we've got the drivers installed on here, drivers and the software. We've already done this before we did the video. So what we do is we just unwrap it. And then this particular connector here goes into the back of the MIDI interface, like so. And then this USB 2 connector here goes into the PC. I'm just going to tuck this behind here just to keep it tidy. Right, so now you can see that's got power there. That light there is flashing on and off. So that means that's working. That's all nice and done. Next thing we're going to do is connect up the mixer to the PC in almost exactly the same way. This end goes into the mixer, like so. And this end goes into the PC. Right, that's done. So now that's all set up. What's next? Then we want to connect up the MIDI interface to the sound module. But for the first use of the Korg, we're going to be using it for a MIDI controller. So we'll need a MIDI output coming up here. As you can see, this is the pin we're using. That's going into this slot here, which is the MIDI out. And the other end of this cable is going to go into our MIDI in on the M-Audio MIDI Sport. Put that to channel A. So now we should be getting the light on the front there, lighting up. That's to indicate that we are connected up. Before we do anything else, I want to get the Korg set up properly. One of these buttons here. It's global and page select. And then what we want to do is we want to turn local control off, because at the moment this is actually outputting sound. This will be outputting sound from the audio cables once we get those fixed in. When we're playing this, so basically this is controlling the sound module via this as well. Pressing this button will stop it from doing that. So now what it's doing is it's only outputting MIDI data, and the only way this will be producing sound is from when it's getting MIDI data returned to it, when we set this up later. And the MIDI data coming out of the interface will be triggering the sound module in this. So that's all nice and set up. And what we need next is the audio cables to go into the back of the sound module. What we're going to do here is we're going to make sure we get the right cables in the right slot. So as you can see, this cable here has writing on it. So we're going to put that in the right slot, and this one in the left slot. So then we just look for the same cables on the other end. Look for the one with the writing on it. So this one here. That goes in the right. Which we're going to put into this channel, stereo channel here. And the left goes into there. So now this is the channel that we're using, ST1. So what we're going to do next is we're going to get the XLR cables coming out the back of the speakers. This might be a bit of a nightmare.
Do you want me to come and hold the...
No, I can get it actually.
You sure?
Yeah.
Alright.
Right. So these are the XLR cables that we've got. And one of these will be going to one of the speakers, one of them will be going to the other. This is the silver cable, so this is our right speaker. This will be going into this channel, this slot here, and this will be going from to that speaker there, on the left. So that's that sorted. Just want to make sure these are turned on.
Yeah, they are.
We are now. Right. So now that's all set up. What we need to do first is to record some MIDI data from this onto the PC, making sure, of course, we've got the drivers from the Allen Heath mixing desk. But we need the MIDI data coming from that into this. So what we'll do is we'll set this up to record from the MIDI source, going to there. First of all, actually, we need to make sure that we've got the MIDI support enabled, which we have. There we go. So that's coming from all channels in channel A, and we should be getting MIDI data. So if we keep an eye on this meter here, we should see it start to move when I play this. There we go. So that's working. Now what we do is we need to press record on here, because we've already got this armed for recording, like so. We need to not worry about that. Then I'll go and play something quickly. Right, so there's our little MIDI file. Save that. Just crop that down so we don't have to listen to lots of blank noise. Put that at the beginning. So that's now playing out our MIDI sounds. Although we're not hearing anything because we haven't got a any sort of sound module hooked up yet. So what we want to do is we want to set up a routing output. So this will be routing out of the MIDI Sport channel A, this one here. So we need to aim for MIDI out channel A. As you can see, that's what we're clicking on here. Okay, so that should be outputting MIDI data now, as you can see there. The little meter lights up. So we'll leave that on a loop. Right, and then what we need to do is we need to make sure the volume's down on this and on the mixer, so that we don't get any loud pops. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take the MIDI cable out of the out slot and put it into the in slot. So this will now receive MIDI data from channel A in the MIDI Sport, like so. So this is now outputting MIDI data through this. What should be outputting is the MIDI data from this. Turn this up and make sure we get everything done on here, and then once we choose a decent sound module. So there we go. So what's happening is the keyboard is being told what to do by the computer, and there is our working MIDI system.